Welcome back to Whispers in the Dark. If you haven't listened to part 1 of The Forest That Whispers Names, make sure to check it out first. The story of 2 hikers, only one of whom walked out of the woods. Tonight, we continue the tale from the perspective of the one who was taken. Turn down the lights and listen carefully, because some voices in the forest don't whisper from behind you. They whisper from inside. This is the one who stayed. When the forest yanked me out of Jacob's arms, I thought I was dying. No, not dying. Being unmade. The trees swallowed me like a collapsing throat. Branches raked my legs, my back, my face. The world spun as something dragged me deeper, deeper, deeper into darkness, so thick it felt alive. I tried to scream, but the forest ate the sound. I tried to dig my fingers into the soil, but the ground felt slick, like skin. The voice, the one that had whispered my name with such quiet hunger, now filled my head completely. You came closer, it said. You listened. Your mind. And then everything stopped. I woke in a clearing I had never seen before. Circular, perfectly symmetrical, trees forming a wall around me like ribs. The air felt thick, heavy, full of breath that wasn't mine. Above me, leaves clattered together, even though the air was still. Elise, the forest crooned. You're awake. My throat tightened. What do you want from me? The voice chuckled, like branches rubbing together. To remember. I tried to stand, but my legs shook violently. The ground felt soft beneath me, pulsing faintly, as if something moved underneath the dirt. The voice whispered again, You will stay here, and you will remember. I don't know how long I sat there. Minutes, hours, days, but the forest didn't let me stay lost in thought for long. A rustle on my right made me jump. A shape, small, pale, moving slowly between the trees. Elise, the voice said, someone wants to see you. My heart stuttered. A figure emerged. A woman, bent, trembling, familiar. Grandma, I breathed. She looked exactly as she did the morning she died. Hair messy, nightgown wrinkled, eyes clouded with pain. Elise, she whispered, why didn't you help me? My lungs collapsed inward. No, I said. No, this isn't real. You're not. But she stepped closer, and the smell hit me. Hospital disinfectant. Old sheets. Cold tile. You heard me fall, she said. You pretended to sleep. Tears burned my eyes. I was a kid. I was scared. I didn't know you were. She remembers, the forest purred. She remembers everything. My grandmother's face changed, twisting into something rotten. Her jaw cracked sideways, her eyes sinking inward until only pits remained. And then she lunged. I screamed, but she passed through me like cold fog. And when she vanished, the forest laughed. You see, it whispered. You remember now. I tried again to run. The trees closed around me like prison bars. I spun and ran in the opposite direction. The trees shifted. I charged forward until my legs gave out. The trees moved again. No matter where I went, the forest curved back into that same circular clearing, pulling me back like a heartbeat pulling blood. "I'm not staying here," I yelled. "Let me go." The forest answered with a single word. "No." Branches snapped overhead. The shadows shivered. And then something stepped into the clearing. A tall, elongated shape. Humanoid almost. Skin like bark. Joints bending the wrong way. A face stretched long, empty, except for a gaping, dark slit where a mouth should be. I stumbled backward. What are you?" The creature tilted its head, joints popping like dry twigs. When it spoke, the voice was not its own. It was my mother. "You left her," it said. "You left your grandmother to die." I screamed again. "Stop using their voices." The creature blinked slowly, as if fascinated. Then, "Elise, you belong to us now." I don't know how long the thing stalked the edges of the clearing. Sometimes it vanished. Sometimes it appeared behind me without sound. Sometimes it whispered Jacob's name, imitating his voice with awful, pitch-perfect accuracy. "Help me, Elise. Come closer." I found a way out. But there is no out. There is only the forest. At some point, I slept, or fainted. When I woke, I wasn't alone. A young boy sat across from me by the edge of the clearing. His clothing was old, thin flannel shirt, worn boots, dirt under his fingernails, eyes sunken. He stared at me with hollow resignation. "You're new," he said quietly. My breath caught. "Who are you?" "Michael," he whispered. The name rang in my ears. My heart dropped. "Jacob's brother." He nodded slowly. My stomach twisted. "But you," he said you drowned." "I did," Michael murmured. "But the forest took what was left." I shook my head. "That's impossible." Michael gave a small, sad smile. "Everything is impossible here." I crawled closer. "Can you help me? Is there a way out? Anything?" He lowered his head. "No one leaves. Not once the forest chooses you." "No," I whispered. "No, Jacob got out. If he did, I can too." Michael lifted his eyes. They glistened with something almost like pity. "He didn't get out because he was strong." He leaned closer. "He got out because you stayed." The words punched the air from my lungs. The forest rustled with approval. Michael's voice grew softer, fatting. "It will keep you here until it learns everything. Your memories, your secrets, your guilt. And then, when you're hollow enough," he swallowed, "you become part of it." I grabbed his arm. "Michael, please, tell me, can I survive?" He looked at me with cold, ancient eyes. "You won't survive," he whispered, "but you'll stay." And then he flickered, like a candle flame in wind, and disappeared. Not walked away, not dissolved, just blinked out of existence. I cried until my throat was raw, not because of the fear, but because of the truth. The forest wasn't going to kill me. The forest was going to keep me. At some point, the creature returned. It towered above me, joints creaking. Those empty, black, mouthless pits where eyes should be stared down at me. "Elise," it murmured, "it is time." "Time for what?" I whispered. "Time to remember all of you." The ground beneath me shivered, opening, cracking like a mouth. Roots curled upward, wrapping around my wrists, my ankles, my waist. I thrashed, screaming, "No, stop, let me go." The forest hummed. "Give in." The roots pulled tighter, lifting me off the ground. My back pressed to a tree trunk. My chest burned, my vision blurred. "I didn't mean for her to die," I cried. "I was a kid. I was scared." "Good," the forest whispered. "You are almost ready." "Ready for what?" "To stay." The roots constricted. My bones creaked. I felt something reach into me. Not physically, deeper, into my memories, into my guilt, into the parts of me I tried to bury. Every terrible thought, every shame, every regret. The forest fed on them like a starving animal. Pain exploded behind my eyes, blinding, searing, endless. And then everything went black. When I woke again, I couldn't feel my legs. Not because they weren't there, because they were no longer mine. The roots had grown into me. Branches curled around my arms like vines. My back fused into the trunk behind me. I tried to scream, but only air came out. "Elise," the forest whispered tenderly, "you are almost one of us." I shook, sobbed, begged, but the forest didn't let me go. Not this time. Not ever. I don't know how much time has passed. Days, months, years. I don't feel hunger anymore, or thirst, or the need to sleep. But I hear everything. The trees murmur. The roots dream. The forest remembers. Sometimes I hear hikers passing far away. Sometimes one strays off the trail. Sometimes they whisper to each other, nervous about the strange quiet. And sometimes, so very faintly, I hear Jacob's voice calling my name. "Elise." I try to answer, but the forest holds my mouth shut and whispers back for me, "Come closer." The forest only needed one, and it chose me. I am Elise. I remember everything, and I am never leaving. If you enjoyed part 2 of The Forest That Whispers Names, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you want a part 3, where we follow Jacob as he tries to rescue Elise. And remember, when the woods whisper your name, they're not calling to you. They're calling for you. Sleep well, if you can.